Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
Never sacrifice your art for the sake of virality or fame. I think we need to take our art and our craft seriously. We just don't want to take ourselves too seriously. Be able to laugh at your mistakes, be a good human, and just keep making good content.
A UTBB teacher has gone viral for playing the trumpet. Coming up in just a few minutes, we have the story behind the local star. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight with a story out of Midland. This morning was the City of Midland's first council meeting since Councilman at Large Dan Corrales died 2 weeks ago. While the council and many Midlanders continue to grieve, they're also looking at what's next. The City Council voted unanimously to have a special election on May 4th for the 7th spot on the City Council. The application period begins today and ends on March 4th. For the council members, it was a tough meeting without Corrales, but they know that they must move on.
I'm ready for somebody that will come in with some wisdom, guidance, and be that strong voice for the people. That's what Councilmember Corrales would have wanted, in my opinion, somebody that really cares about the community, cares about the small things as well as the big things.
We've worked really hard over the last couple of weeks to honor his service and honor his time in office. He was committed to this community, and he worked diligently to address concerns for his constituents. And so we respect that, we honor it, and we missed him today.
The City Council had a moment of silence before the meeting began for Corrales. Midland Mayor Lori Blong says that the council did consider leaving the position vacant until the November election. However, state law requires them to fill that position within 120 days of the vacancy occurring. If you want a list of qualifications for the position of Midland City Council at Large, that's up on our website, CBS7.com. And last week, a hit-and-run incident left a 10-year-old boy dead in Midland. City officials have confirmed that it was a matter of driver negligence and not a lack of traffic devices. Now, the city and county have been working on a strategy that will make roads safer for pedestrians and drivers. Vision Zero is a strategy adopted by the U.S. Department of Transportation that the City of Midland and Midland County have joined together. They'll be receiving input from citizens and collecting data to eventually reach their goal of having 0 fatalities by 2050. There are 12 corridors that the city and Midland County plan to make upgrades to. Some of them include Midland Drive, Avalon, Andrews Highway, and several others. The city has identified some of the issues facing the corridors, including litter abatement or traffic safety needs.
It's really just a program or a plan where we can come in and address a variety of safety issues. And when I talk about traffic safety issues, we're talking about pedestrian traffic, we're talking about vehicular traffic as well.
These upgrades will include better lighting, sidewalks, improved striping, and improved signage. The incident occurred in the council member John Norman's district, and he believes that this strategic plan will benefit pedestrians and drivers in Midland.
You know, traffic was stopped, and we had somebody that was impatient and decided to go around, and this tragic incident happened. So, but I also believe that, you know, as we get going with this Vision Zero program, you know, it'll mitigate some of those things.
The city has committed under $200,000 towards the development of and completion of Vision Zero Safety Action Plan. The U.S. Department of Transportation funds the Safe Streets and Roads for All grants. Once the city has a safety action plan adopted, they can apply for funding up to $25 million to make the improvements. This collaboration is between the city, county, TxDOT, and the U.S. Department of Transportation. Midland police detectives recently conducted a search warrant that led to the recovery of $90,000 worth of stolen items. The operation was a joint venture between Midland Police Department detectives and the SWAT team. Those items were stolen from businesses near Wadley Avenue and Midkiff. Among the recovered items were e-bikes, shoes, and Garmin devices. A suspect has not yet been named, and the investigation is ongoing. We're going to take a pause to talk your weather forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller. Tom, how's the weather out there today?
Well, it is pretty quiet, and it looks like we're going to have smooth sailing weather-wise into Valentine's Day. Look at these temperatures today. running a little bit above where we should be this time of the year by about 5 degrees or so, as we saw readings into the mid to upper 60s across many locations. 72 around Fort Stockton. Excuse me, as we are looking at, again, temperatures cooling off quite a bit into the upper 40s now around the Midland National Air and Spaceport. Not a lot in the way of wind. It has calmed down quite a bit, but it's a southerly wind that may bring a few clouds to the forecast across the southeast Permian Basin. But overall, a stunning Valentine's Day, as we're going to see quiet and dry weather all the way through the weekend. There will be another front, though. Drop temperatures. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a few minutes.
We're going to turn now to your political news. Earlier this evening, a member of the president's cabinet was impeached. On Tuesday night, House Republicans impeached Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. CBS7's Washington correspondent Josh Rutlenberg has the latest on the news, including what happens next.
By a vote of 214 to 213, House Republicans impeached and officially charged Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas with high crimes and misdemeanors for what they say is his mishandling of the U.S. southern border. This was the second vote in as many weeks on Mayorkas' fate. The first attempt failed by 2 votes. On Tuesday, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise cast the deciding vote after being absent while he was being treated for cancer. 3 Republicans still voted against impeachment. Mayorkas becomes just the second cabinet secretary ever to be impeached. The last one was in 1876. In a statement, House Speaker Mike Johnson says, quote, Alejandro Mayorkas deserves to be impeached and Congress has a constitutional obligation to do so. President Biden says, quote, history will not look kindly on House Republicans for their blatant act of unconstitutional partisanship that has targeted an honorable public servant in order to play petty political games. The articles of impeachment will now be sent to the U.S. Senate, where they will most certainly be dead on arrival since the chamber is controlled by Democrats. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says, quote, House Republicans failed to present any evidence of anything resembling an impeachable offense. This is a new low for House Republicans, end quote. In Washington, I'm Josh Rottenberg.
This marks the second time in United States history that a member of the president's cabinet has been impeached. Congressman August Pfluger took to Facebook to announce the impeachment, saying, quote, the House just voted to impeach Secretary Mayorkas for his willful and systemic refusal to comply with the law in breach of public trust. We are delivering accountability for the border crisis, end quote. To see Pfluger's full statement on the impeachment, you can go to our website, CBS7.com. And in some social media news, Eric Baker, better known as EB_Trumpet on social media, recently gained national attention from a video that went viral of him playing the trumpet while picking up his daughter from school. His claim to fame came from the idea to do a series similar to the ones where athletes are mic'd up while in practice or during games. It gives people behind the scenes action, and they're able to see the authenticity of the professional athletes. Baker took that idea to professional musicians in the West Texas Symphony. The most rewarding part of virality for Baker has been the comments that he's received about how he's inspired people to dust off their instruments and love making music again.
This makes me want to pick up my trumpet again, or this makes me want to pick up the flute again. And I'll always encourage those people and comment back, do it. So you heal as a human being to make great music.
For those intrigued by those opportunities, UTBB has a diverse music program. Whether it's joining the band, choir, orchestra, mariachi, or jazz band, there's something for everyone. And social media and dating apps are a great way to meet new people for those looking for love. But the people you meet may not be who they appear. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and with love in the air, it could cost you more than just a box of chocolates. That's all thanks to some online dating scammers. According to the FBI in El Paso, from January 1st of 2023 to yesterday, in the Midland-Odessa area and the Alpine area, there were a total of 21 victims, totaling $793,000 in losses.
So in the entire state of Texas, in the Lone Star State, back in 2023, Texas residents reported a median loss of $3,000 to romance scams, with a total loss in the Lone Star State reaching a $1.8 million. So it's happening quite a lot. It's happening quite a lot. It's happening quite often, and it's costing people a lot of money.
With several forms of online dating and scammers getting better at scamming, it is always important to follow smart online dating tips and look out for the red flags.
So some things that we like to ask people to just keep an eye out, is things moving too fast, too soon, right? I mean, that's something that people should be on the lookout for in any circumstance.
Benavides also says never wire money to someone. If you do end up meeting someone for the first time tomorrow, it's always best to meet in public and stay in public. Tell friends and family about your plans. Be in control of your transportation, and of course, if you feel uncomfortable, leave. Now we have an update on a food truck in Odessa that was first introduced on CBS7 during Small Business Summer. Yvette Hernandez, owner of Mi Cocinita, took her food truck to Jesus House in Odessa. Take a look. Hernandez has been helping feed patrons of Jesus House for nearly 20 years. And as with Mi Cocinita, it's a family affair. Some of Hernandez's children helped out with the food and positive energy.
I mean, it might not be food, but I mean, just being a blessing to somebody. Like I tell some of my kids, just smile. Just smile. You know, if you just smile at some people, like that's something that they need. Some people might just need that smile.
Hernandez's mother was also handing out food and smiles. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. See all these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. And still ahead, spring hasn't sprung just yet. In just a few minutes, the latest on a winter storm sweeping the northeast parts of the country. And this Wednesday and Thursday, in special reports, the power of communication. CBS 7's Tyler Poglich will introduce you to a family that is part of ECISD's Regional Day School for the Deaf and how it has helped each member of the family. Tune in to CBS 7 First Alert News at 6 and 10 on Wednesday for Part 1. Turning now to some environmental news. Parts of the Northeast woke up to a rapid snowfall this morning from a storm blanketing several states. It looks like a winter wonderland just north of New York City. The Big Apple received its the heaviest snowfall in 2 years. Some areas of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut may end up with more than a foot of snow by the end of the storm. The snow fell as far south as Maryland, which had significantly warmer temperatures just a few days ago.
Going from like 60-degree weather to this, come on. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but still, it's supposed to be spring. Yeah. Everyone's spring.
Governors in several states closed offices and schools either gave students a snow day or switched to remote learning. Plus, bad visibility forced the cancellation of more than 1,000 flights today. And in more travel news this morning, flight attendants and airline crews picketed outside of the Dallas Love Field Airport in support of new contracts and pay raises. According to the Association of Professional Flight Attendants, thousands of employees across 3 labor unions are picketing outside airports all across the U.S. The protest will include cabin crew members from 24 airlines, including Southwest and American. The APFA says that some flight attendants have not had a pay raise in 5 years.
Well, back home in West Texas, it looks like great weather on the way for Valentine's, but the big question is, how long is it going to last? We'll talk about that. Look at the weekend. Up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, let's take a look outside on a live iCam in Odessa, where we're seeing generally a cloud-free night. Temperatures, again, a little on the cool side. 49 already out at the Miller National Air and Spaceport, 53 in Odessa. And you can see temperatures are cooling off down into the mountain areas and across southeast of Mexico, but we're not going to be as cold as last night, as we do have this ridge of high pressure building right over the area. A southerly wind at ground level brought slightly milder temperatures to our forecast. Our next big weather maker is going to be this trough of low pressure. That's going to increase the clouds for the latter part of the week, then also bring in some colder air coming up on Saturday. Right now across the state of Texas, some high clouds across portions of deep South Texas is really about it. There's been a couple across West Texas, but nothing to write home about. As temperatures today across the state really started to warm up into the lower 70s along the Rio Grande, up towards Del Rio, 71 in Presidio. Now, these southerly winds are going to bring in some low cloudiness. Looks like moving up the Pecos River and into portions of the Concho Valley early on, but by the afternoon hours, things will really wind down, and expecting the low clouds get in as close as maybe Garden City, the Big Lake area, Ira Ann down towards Sanderson, before dissipating later on in the morning hours. Then just some high clouds across the Big Bend area is really going to be about it for tomorrow. So the rest of tonight, here's what we are dealing with. Again, not too much in the way of cloud cover, and it is going to be a little bit chilly with temperatures down into the upper 30s across the area. So most areas avoiding a freeze overnight tonight. Then tomorrow, fantastic for Valentine's Day. Temperatures into the 70s and lots of sunshine on the way, as the southwest wind is going to help warm things up. More clouds in the forecast ahead of the next storm system Thursday into Friday. The front will whip through early Saturday morning, and we'll see colder temperatures in our forecast for the start of the weekend.
The Beatles said that money can't buy me love. But lately, love seems to be pretty expensive. Coming up, we break down some of the Valentine's Day cost records we're seeing this season. We're keeping an eye on your money this Valentine's because while love might not cost a thing, showing someone you care this Valentine's Day may get pretty expensive. Consumers are expected to shell out big bucks on their Valentines this year, setting some new records in the process. Ivan Rodriguez joins us from Atlanta to break down the numbers.
True love is priceless, but this Valentine's Day, Twitter-pated consumers are showing their affection with some big spending, according to the National Retail Federation.
Consumers are expecting to spend around $25.8 billion this year, which is on par with last year and the third highest we've seen in our survey's history.
That breaks down to a whopping $185 per person. The NRF's Catherine Cullen says their survey also found in 2024 love is in the air.
This year, consumers are really focusing on the romantic aspects of the holiday. They're spending record amounts on significant others and really prioritizing gifts like jewelry or an evening out.
Despite new federal data released Tuesday showing inflation continuing to cool year over year in January, that evening out or a box of chocolate may still be pricey.
We look at food away from home. That is up more than other cost categories, and so is candy. Price of sugar has really been up all around the globe.
But Bankrate's Mark Hamrick says even if inflation remains a little sticky this Valentine's Day, a strong economy will make the road ahead just a little bit sweeter for everyone.
The economy in the United States has remained not only more robust than expected, but it's been the star performer compared to our would-be peers all around the globe. That's something for Americans to celebrate.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Another reason you might be paying more this Valentine's, it's called holiday markup. Some special Valentine's Day editions of popular candies appear to be priced higher than about the same amount of their regular versions. That includes gummy bear brand Haribo. A 7-ounce Haribo gummy bear Valentine Heart Box on Walmart.com is priced at $5.97. but a regular 8-ounce bag is half of that at $2.38. That amounts to a 55-cent per ounce bump in price. Other candies experiencing the holiday markup are Jolly Ranchers and Sour Patch Kids. Walmart said it's looking into the price differences, but it said that some of the Valentine's Day candy items on its website are listed by third-party sellers on Walmart Marketplace. And still ahead, it's important to look sharp. Keep your mind sharp and eat sharp. It's National Cheddar Day. All the cheesy details are up next. All right, Tom, today, Tuesday, is a Gouda day indeed. It's National Cheddar Day, the key ingredient in the classic grilled cheese sandwich. Cheddar was first produced in the village of Cheddar in England in the 12th century. And now half of all UK cheese sales are cheddar. And in the United States, a third of cheese sales are cheddar. Only mozzarella is more popular. You can mark the day by sharing your favorite recipes involving cheddar, host a wine and cheese party, or simply enjoy a grilled cheese sandwich. The Tillamook County Creamery Corporation in Oregon created this cheesy day in 2019 to celebrate the farmer-owned cooperative's 110th anniversary. Tom, I like cheese.
Yes.
I like all kinds of cheese.
And there's nothing like cheddar cheese on a hamburger.
Oh my
either.
gosh.
Oh,
a cheeseburger and a classic grilled cheese.
Good stuff.
I could eat a classic grilled cheese. I think I might go home and eat a
little tomato
grilled
soup
cheese.
with it.
Yes.
Oh, good
Ooh,
stuff.
that sounds good. Is there good weather for tomato soup and grilled
Yeah, I
cheese?
think so, especially this weekend.
Okay.
Now, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Weather looks fantastic. We'll see lots of sunshine, about 70 degrees. Then the temperatures start to go down a little bit, and it looks like we'll see the possibility of that front dropping temperatures quite a bit on Saturday. But it's a temperature roller coaster as we're going to see things rebound into the mid to upper 70s, nearing 80 for parts of West Texas.
Okay. So get the grilled cheeses ready for Saturday with the tomato soup. That sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight on CBS7 News at 10.